Hello, Happy New Year. It's Emma here. And today I'm sharing with you some tips so that you can have the most success in 2023 by setting goals and resolutions that actually work. Now, it's really all about having one vision and taking aligned action towards it. And to begin, this is a three-part exercise. So you're going to need a journal or something to write in. So grab that. And we're going to start out by getting into a beautiful positive energy state by reflecting on all the highlights from the year that's just passed. So thinking about all of your highlights from 2022. So grab your journal and just take a moment here to ground. Let your eyes close if that feels comfortable to do so. Otherwise, take a soft gaze. And take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And then exhale, sigh it out through your mouth. Inhale and release. And then on this next inhale, take in even more air than you did before. Really fill up your belly and your lungs. And then hold your breath at the top. Take in a sip more air. And then this time, sigh it out. Really let everything go. Beautiful. Take any movements that feel good in your neck and in your shoulders. And then start thinking back over last year, over 2022, and focusing on the positive moments. If your mind starts to wander to think about things that aren't quite so positive, just lovingly notice and gently say to yourself, no, we're not doing that right now. We're focusing on the positive. And some tips, like if you're kind of trying to throw your mind back to January and you can't even think what you did, you can look through your camera roll on your phone, maybe look through your journal or even your day planner, or if you use like a digital calendar, look through that. And go through month by month and pick out one or maybe a few highlights, things that made you smile, that you remember fondly. And they can be big things or small things. So maybe it was a big vacation you got to take and go somewhere that you've always wanted to go. Or maybe it was you went to a yoga class with a friend and that was a really fond memory. Allowing yourself to reflect and ideas for how to make this personal to you. Think about, do you want to perhaps categorize the areas that you're celebrating? So maybe you'd like to look for success and happiness and highlights in your relationships, maybe career related, maybe home related. Or would you like to just pick one of any kind for each month? Have a think about what is a meaningful way to organize this information for you. And then I'll invite you to pause the video while you take your time to write down and pick out those highlights. So remembering, your mind may be drawn to ruminating, and don't allow yourself to do that. Your job right now is to look at highlights throughout the year. And I know some of you have had a really brutal year, but I also know that every single one of you has many highlights throughout the year. So allow yourself now to delve in, looking through those memories. Pause the video, give yourself 5 or 10 minutes, and then come back when you've completed your list of all your beautiful highlights of 2022. All right, so welcome back. You've got your list of highlights. And take a moment now to read through them and allow yourself to feel the feelings that come up. Notice how your energy shifts. Do you feel a lightness or a warmth perhaps in your heart? Maybe you tear up with emotion. What do you feel as you read through each of those things? And allow yourself to revel in that joy. And keep this list handy so that you can reflect on it and bring yourself back into that feeling of light and happiness and joy. The next part of the exercise is letting go of those frustrations, anger, disappointment. It's important that we work through our, let's label them negative emotions. The things that we remember that we don't necessarily want to, or that bring us into a place of sadness or anger. You can't just always be positive. It's important to allow yourself to think through all the emotions, to feel the whole spectrum of emotions, because that is truly living. We experience highs and lows and in betweens. So think about some of the things that came up in the past 12 months that made you sad, that made you angry, times that you were disappointed, things that you did that you regret. And you don't have to pick up every single little moment. What are those things that are just still niggling you in the back of your mind? And write them out. And also take your time here to write out for each of those things why it bothered you, how you feel. Like, get angry. Imagine you're writing a letter or venting to that situation, that person, and perhaps to yourself. Get it all out there. Let all those angry, dark thoughts and words flow out onto your page. So pause the video now and take a moment to reflect on regret and disappointment and write out why you're so mad about it, how it made you feel, and then come back to the video. All right, welcome back. So you have written out your regrets. The next part of this section of the exercise is to think about what would you have preferred instead? So if it's something that you did, an action that you took that you regret, what do you wish you did instead? If you could take it all back and start over, how would it have gone instead? If it's someone else who hurt you in some way, how would you prefer that they treat you in future? What would you have liked them to do in the moment instead of what they did do? Write out what you wish had happened. And pause the video and make those notes. Think about what you deserve instead of what did happen. Okay, you back with me now. How did that feel to let out all of those angers and frustrations and to tell the world what you would like instead? That second part is so important because if you don't know how you would prefer to be treated instead, how is someone else supposed to know? How are you supposed to tell them what you want? if you haven't given your space to think about it, yourself space to think about it. So it's important to take the time to reflect on what upset you and what you would prefer instead. Now allow yourself to release all that anger and negativity. Maybe taking a deep inhale and then exhale, sighing it out. And imagining with each inhale and exhale, you're just breathing it out into the world, letting it go. When you keep those thoughts inside you, they take up emotional energy, they take up your thoughts, they take up space. So by writing them out, by processing them, by dealing with those thoughts, you have now created space to let love and light come in. So now look again at your list of all the wonderful things that happened and feel that energy. Feel that shift. How does it feel to think about disappointment? And how does it feel to think about joy and happiness? And notice how you are capable with your thoughts of changing how you feel. You are so, so powerful. Are you ready to plan your incredible success for 2023? Yeah. All right. What you're going to do now is you're going to write out a list of all the things that you want to achieve, want to do in 2023. Just pour it all out, everything that you want to do. And pause the video for as long as you need, and then come back. Welcome back. You've got your amazing list of all of those things. Now go through for each item. Think about why. Why is it that you want that thing? Why do you want to do that? And so maybe you have the goal of going to the gym every day, and that's because you want to lose weight. But why do you want to lose weight? What will be different for you once you've achieved that goal? Perhaps it's so that you can climb the stairs to your apartment without getting out of breath when you come home. Maybe you're wondering about quitting drinking for the month. Why? Why are you doing that? Looking at what it is that you're actually seeking to achieve from each of those things on your list. So pausing the video once again and writing down all of your whys. The next part, now that you've got what you want and why you want it, is actually to rewrite those goals so that they're grounded in that why. Going back to my example of going to the gym so that you're not out of breath when you climb the stairs. Your goal then becomes be able to climb the stairs to my apartment without getting out of breath. That's the goal. Going to the gym is the how you're going to get there. And take a moment now and rewrite each of those goals, focusing on why it's important to you. What is the real reason that you're doing it? What is the outcome that you desire? And then once you've finished, start the video and we'll go on to the next part. How is that list looking? Know that can be a bit of a challenging exercise to flip your thoughts around, but I hope that you had fun doing it. And it really gives you a chance then to really understand what your why is and to make sure that it really makes sense. And you see now how it's different, that list, instead of being a list of resolutions that you do every year, it's actually deeply meaningful and grounded in the ultimate experience that you wish to have for the year. And that's where this next part comes in. Look through your list and look for what is the theme? What is the theme for 2023 for you? And you're going to pick one word that sums it all up. So looking through and looking for patterns, maybe you notice that you're looking for community. Maybe you notice that the focus is really on your personal health. Maybe it's about finding simplicity in your life. And take a few moments here and pick your word, and then start the video up again once you have it. Did you get your word? The idea here is that throughout the year, you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have ups and downs throughout each day. And then by having that one word, it's easy to remember one word, right? Trying to remember your whole list of your whys and what you want to do, it's hard. We've got a lot going on in our brains. But remembering one word, that when you say that word to yourself, when you read that word, it evokes all of the emotions of all of those things on your list that you're going to be working on this year. There's one word that when you're in a challenging situation, you can think of that word and ask yourself, if I say yes or no, which is in alignment? It helps you make a decision. If I do this thing, is that going to be contributing towards my goal of simplicity, health, or is it going to be going against it? So perhaps each time you're tempted to have a drink, you remind yourself of your word and why you're not drinking this month. When you're tempted to skip the gym, you remind yourself of your word and the why and all of these reasons that you're doing it. And all of these parts of this exercise work together. So your one word is there to have with you to readily be able to reference whenever you need to. And then keep your whole list of your what you want and why, so that you can reflect on that and also check things off as you achieve them. Add more things as your dreams grow. And what you can do as well is do this exercise each month so that then it becomes a beautiful regular check-in with yourself, where you're going, how far you are on your path, what you're doing and why, and an opportunity to realign and refocus as things change. Thank you so much for joining me for this New Year's success exercise. Remember, keep checking in against that word when you are faced with a decision, when you're faced with a challenging situation, when you're feeling like you're not sure why you're here and what you're doing. That word will help remind you and get you back on track. It's like a lighthouse just for you. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like it and subscribe so that you'll hear when I have a new video out. And of course, please share with a friend. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have an amazing 2023.